What happened next? No one saw Clark walk from center court to center stage at Augusta National during the Masters. Caitlin wasn't there to compete. Instead, she was there to reflect, reset, and show a side of herself that most fans never see. Caitlin is letting us in on the nerves with the golf stories, off-season revelations, and the surprising ways that golf mirrors everything she's learned from basketball. What did she say, and why is this interview going viral so quickly? I think that Caitlin Clark didn't just show up at the Masters, she made it matter. Actually getting here is a whole different experience. It's so gorgeous. Everywhere you look, it's like a postcard. I think the one thing that you can't really prepare for on TV is the hills. It's unbelievable. My legs were a little sore yesterday, but it's really perfect, like your preseason workout. What did you do? I walked the golf course, so that's how I got back in shape. In typical Caitlin Clark fashion, she couldn't help but start by saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do the next day, so maybe play some golf. After famously declaring that she had spent her off-season working as a professional golfer, she doubled down with a new punchline. Walking Augusta's legendary hills had become my preseason conditioning, getting my legs back in shape. She laughed, acknowledging that simply being a fan of the Masters is no easy task, but beneath the humor, it was classic Clark, blending focus, fun, and a little bit of sarcasm, always in season, so your family is here with you. They're just off camera. We'd get to be here. That's not even working, but I would even get to be near Augusta National, and they were ecstatic. How did they react when they learned that everyone would be able to attend? Caitlin Clark wasn't the one receiving applause. Instead, she was the one cheering at the Masters, and she was just a fan, wide-eyed, and taking it all in with her family by her side. I mean, this is at the top of their bucket list, too, and they can't get enough of it. I slept in today, and my brother and my dad were here right when the gates opened, and they were strolling around, and nobody was playing. Caitlin has been on a mission to try everything Augusta has to offer, and she admitted to grabbing more than a couple of not-so-healthy desserts, joking that she'd need extra conditioning when she gets back to Indiana. Whether it's indulging in honey wheat chicken salad sandwiches or planning her next snack move, Caitlin is obviously living her best fan life. My favorite food, I believe, is the Georgia peach ice cream. That's what my dad and my brother were doing, so they can't get enough of it. Sandwich, you can't go wrong with that. The sugar cookie's really good, and the peach isn't overpowering. I had a couple of them yesterday, and I'm gonna need to get some extra conditioning when I return to Indianapolis, but you can't go wrong with anything. There are so many good things, and maybe it just tastes better because the view is so amazing, but yeah, it's been fun. Are you a Pimette person? I'm not a big pimento, but I would choose the chicken salad on the honey wheat before that because I really like that sandwich. You look great throughout the day, and yes, she plans her outfits like the rest of us do. She hasn't even visited the merchandise tent yet, but when she does, it's a mission. How have you planned your outfits this week? I brought a lot of clothes, and I didn't really know about the weather when I arrived, but it's been perfect. Still, I'm trying to look the part, and you know exactly what I'm doing because you're a golfer, so we're gonna get some good stuff. You also need to stock up on Christmas presents for your brother. He spent a lot of money, and I'm sure I'll be up there too, but I'll get some hats and some nice golf gear because it's exclusive and only available here, so you have to go crazy while you can. Yes, gifts for the family, coffee mugs because she considers herself a coffee queen, and of course, exclusive golf gear. She even admitted to watching TikTok merch hauls to get ready for the shopping madness. This is the kind of detail that fans rarely see, so I've been keeping an eye on what people purchase so I can be ready for what I want to buy, because you have to have a plan and a strategy when you're in there. Overwhelming so many people there, so I'll probably get some coffee mugs. My brother mentioned that the coffee mugs were going off, so I'll get some coffee mugs. In that way, Caitlin Clark at Augusta isn't just a sports star at a golf event. She's all of us when we enter a place we've only dreamed about. Eric, snack-focused, and ready to make memories with the people who matter most. I remember being pretty young and loving every sport, and my parents saying, yeah, I wanted to try anything I could. I don't remember how old I was turning, but I was pretty young when I received my first set of golf clubs, and they were bright pink, like the kid golf clubs. I would constantly ask my dad to take me out to play golf because I just loved being outside. I was obviously not very good at it, and I still am a hack, but I think I just love being outside. Before Caitlin Clark was lighting up basketball courts, she was falling in love with another sport without crowds, teammates, or shot clocks. Her relationship with golf began early, and even though she's quick to admit she's not a pro, it's clear the game has always held a special place in her life. Let's say it started with a birthday, some bright pink clubs, and a lot of perseverance. It's like a battle with yourself, and it's so different from basketball or the other sports I played growing up. So I think that's what I love about it. However, a lot of my friends played, and some of my teammates still play professionally, so it's like a fun, competitive thing we get to do together, and that's what I love about it. The only drawback of the WNBA is that it's summer, so I don't get to go out and play golf as much, but I try to spend as much time as I can without hurting my back, because I still need to make some shots, you know. In Caitlin Clark's case, golf is more than just a pastime. It's a form of therapy in a world where she's always in the spotlight. The golf course provides a rare peace where the pressure fades, the noise disappears, and the focus shifts inward, just her, the club, and the next shot. But I think also realizing how much I enjoy it and how peaceful it is. It's like such a nice way to get away from basketball and what your reality is every single day, and just to do something where you can like calm your... She quickly acknowledges that she could never pull off a Michael Jordan drop of 35 points after 18 holes, but she completely understands why so many top athletes turn to golf. It's a mental reset, a way to refocus and return to the grind feeling rejuvenated. Why do basketball players in particular seem to love golf so much? That's a really good question, honestly. I think that, first of all, it's a great escape for us too, because we're so accustomed to the team element, and then you're on the course and it's such a challenge with yourself. Like, it's just you, the golf ball, the golf club, the course, and the golf ball. Have your teammates to rely on, so it's just a battle with yourself. It's almost like a mental exercise, and I think that's what's really impressive about these professional golfers out here. For example, when you hit a bad shot, you don't have time to pout. You have to move on. It's similar to basketball in that if you miss a shot, you have to step up and take the next shot. They don't have other teammates to rely on. So I think that's what's really impressive about. She even views golf as a sort of training to hit the next one, miss a big bucket, time to get back on defense. But the most important thing is managing your nerves here. How much do you relate to that? I know you mentioned that you don't get nervous in basketball, but every now and then, I'm sure something spikes. Yesterday was interesting to walk around, like the fans were all over you. And I think as an athlete, you don't always realize that when you're in your element and competing and doing your thing. I'm sure the guys get into their zone and sort of go about their business as usual, but that element is always something you can't prepare for. And Caitlin knows you. In basketball, for example, you don't show up to practice and there aren't fans shouting and cheering, or walking along the ropes, or sitting behind the green. So you just have to kind of zone in and lock in and block out kind of all that. This is why both basketball and golf share a unique need to zone in, block out the noise, and perform at Augusta surrounded by fans and energy. That's the magic of golf, though, because it challenges her in ways that strengthen every aspect of her game, noise, but also enjoy it simultaneously, because as you know, this place is stunning and amazing, and having fans or crowds or whatever follow you in professional sports, like, that's what makes it so much fun. Caitlin is not just a golf fan. She understands the strategy, mindset, and grind of golf, and it's that same appreciation that connects her love for both basketball and golf with ease. She remembers stories of Steph Curry hitting the range after a difficult game. I believe one of my favorite stories is when Steph Curry forgot that it was the playoffs, and I believe it was the finals. He didn't play well, and the following day they had off, and instead of going to the gym, he preferred to go to the golf course and just hit balls. And the following day he came out and had about 45 points and shot really well, which I believe just goes to show how calming it is for professional athletes, as well as the competitive side of it. Of course, Steph is really good, but I think that is one of my favorite stories, because It's like you understand, like, this is an escape for us too. Like, it's that peaceful or Michael Jordan squeezing in 18 holes before dropping 35 on the court. She doesn't simply recount these stories. She understands what they mean, and that's where her sports IQ truly shines. There are a lot of hoopers who also enjoy basketball, so it turns out that Caitlin isn't the only one in the WNBA who steals looks at golf gear. From playful jabs with former teammate Grace Bergerer, a legitimate state champion, to current teammates tossing around the idea of playing the game, the buzz about golf is quietly spreading throughout the locker room, and Caitlin has fully leaned into it, becoming a sort of low-key golf whisperer. Grace was a state champion golfer in high school. Have you played with anyone? I believe so. Why did you keep that from me? She was on the team that didn't play, but it looks like you haven't played with anyone on this team yet. Well, I haven't. I know Lexi plays a little bit and Christy plays a little bit. I don't know, but I think a good number of people probably play, so we could get them interested. I want to see, what would be your pitch to other athletes in the YW to play golf? It's funny because I have a lot of teammates who don't play, and they say things like, I see you play golf, like, I really want to try it. They ask her how to get started, half in jest, half seriously. Caitlin laughs about it, but you can tell she genuinely loves helping them get curious about the game. She's even coming up with ideas for casual outings and finding public courses where they can learn without passing judgment. Like, want me to help them get into golf, which I think is really cute. I don't think they realize how difficult it's going to be, but they say, I don't know how to swing a golf, I'll help you. They say it's a great way to spend time with the people you love. That's my favorite thing about it. It's nothing like cameras or pressure, just athletes trying something new together, and Caitlin is right there leading the way. Not as a celebrity, but as a teammate with an extra club or two to share. Yes, it probably irritates me a lot, but it's also like just a great way to be outside and meet people. I'm going to work on teaching some of my teammates some lessons. I'm not sure if they really want lessons from me, but I'll do my best to help them. However, they want to go out and play, so we're going to find some courses in Indianapolis and get out there. There are definitely some public courses that might not be as nice as others because they might have some divots in the ground, but it'll be fun. That's okay. That's how you learn. We've all been there. But they're also so much farther ahead because the hand-eye is there. For the first time in a long time, Caitlin Clark's offseason looked a little different this year. She had the time to relax, slow down, and enjoy something for herself, and that something turned out to be golf. After the season ended, she didn't immediately go into training mode. Instead, she picked up her clubs, and that's when things got interesting. Her swing is still a work in progress, but the joy is immediate. This offseason has been the longest time you've had to actually take a break from playing basketball at an elite level. And you mentioned in the beginning of the offseason that you said you were going to try to become a professional golfer. Where are we in our golf journey right now? It's cold in Indianapolis most of the time, so it's true that we need to get you a simulator. I was kidding around and people said, oh my gosh, maybe she can do it. I replied, no, people don't understand. That just goes to show what people think, which I really appreciate. Well, it was fun, and I played a lot right after the season ended. I got to play with Nelly Korda, teed off with John Rome and Max, and even walked fairways with LPGA legend Annika Sernstrom. She acknowledged that she was more nervous than I am for basketball, but that's what made it memorable. These weren't just star-studded experiences, they were reminders of how much she still loves learning to compete and being challenged. Caitlin acknowledges that she isn't on their level, but she is soaking it all in with gratitude. Oh my goodness, I've never been so nervous in my life. I know I don't get nervous for basketball, but perhaps that's because I know I'm actually okay at that. That you're pretty good at golf, you never know what might happen. I almost killed someone on the 6th PE, but it was great. I'm not used to walking 18, so that's an adjustment too. But like I said, those are once-in-a-lifetime experiences that I'm lucky enough to have. Nelly and Anukika were both amazing, laid back, and two of the best female golfers of all time. So how cool is it that I get to say I played 9 holes with each of them? What stood out most, though, wasn't just the golf. It was the warmth with which the golf community welcomed her clubs, welcomed her into pro-ams, and treated her not just I don't know if you've noticed, but whenever someone outside of the quote golf world shows any level of interest, the golf world just wants to throw its arms around you. What have you thought about the reaction that golf has had to your interest in golf? I think it's been really fun, and obviously it's allowed me a lot of really cool opportunities and to do a lot of really cool different things, whether it's playing the pro-ams or being here. For her, it's not about staying in one lane, it's about opening doors for both parties. If golf fans start watching women's basketball and basketball fans tune into women's golf, that's the kind of momentum that moves the needle, because at its core, Caitlin isn't just playing games, she's building bridges from Augusta to Gamebridge. I'm never angry about it though, whether it's people sending me golf clubs for free to try out, the WNBA to the LPGA, she's demonstrating that excellence when it's genuine transcends sport. I believe that it's certainly helped too, as my brothers who didn't play when we were kids picked it up and really started enjoying it. Now they can't get enough of it, and the same is true with many of my friends and teammates. So, you know, it's just such a welcoming community, and it's really fun for me to be a part of and to bring more people to golf, and hopefully a lot of golf fans will start watching women's basketball. Time, no phones, no distractions, just the silence of the course, the weight of tradition, and the quiet buzz of fans fully locked into the experience. She called it unlike anything else, and not just because of the views, but also because of the presence it demands. As a professional athlete herself, she understands how rare and powerful that kind of energy truly is. And I honestly think it's just so different from everything else. There's really nothing like this, and I think the aspect of not having your phone is so unique. Like, you can tell everyone is really invested, and they're just, at the end of the weekend, Caitlin wasn't just inspired. She was moved from following groups on the first tee to reflecting on how nerves manifest in different arenas and appreciating what it takes to perform at the highest level. After their rounds, the athletes and even the golfers talk about it as though they feel a different level of engagement from the fans too, how invested they are, and you're really just living in the moment. I think as a professional athlete, you can empathize with that, and I think that's really cool. Level had only increased. She described Augusta as one of the most magical places she had ever been, and you could tell she meant it for her and her family. It wasn't just a trip, it was a memory etched in green gold and gratitude, which is what we all love about it. It's like you're just a regular fan walking around doing all the same exact things, and there's just a peacefulness about it. I would rank that as probably number one because it's so different. Perhaps the spoiled weather is biased, but it's pretty amazing. Caitlin Clark didn't come to Augusta to dominate. Rather, she came to disconnect, reflect, and reconnect. This show is all about capturing the magic of Augusta National in the Masts tournament. I think it's one of the most magical places I've ever been in my life, honestly. Everyone knows that, whether you've been here or not, but once you really step foot on this whole course, this entire area, like, it just puts into perspective how special. This is why she fell in love with sports in the first place. In this rare moment off the court, she reminded us all that greatness isn't just measured by points or trophies, but also by curiosity, humility, and the way you lift others as you rise. If Augusta taught us anything, it's that the magic happens when you slow down, look around, and realize you're witnessing something special. If you're excited about the upcoming WNBA season, comment below, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss it. Whether she's draining threes or slicing tee shots, Caitlin Clark is creating something bigger than a career. She's creating a culture where women in every sport are seen celebrated. We've had a great time.